Okay, so I want to discuss how I believe we are about to experience a planetary puberty of sorts because we are experiencing this reset, this shift, and a lot of different things are happening, right? Our magnetic field is weakening, the magnetic North Pole is shifting, and different weather events and social events and that type of thing. We have a sense that the world is changing, right? And of course, that's connected to this shift, this reawakening. But we have this sort of habit of sort of breaking things into these isolated parts or fragments when they're all sort of working in tandem with each other in this sort of natural process, right? Which we could call a planetary puberty. Okay. Because if we go back to this 12/21/2012 date, right, that Mayan calendar end date, when the world was supposed to end, well, it didn't literally end, so some people sort of wrote it off, but that was never sort of the intention or message of this calendar, anyways. It was about shifting into this new age, this new world. And I believe that did happen. I do feel like the world ended and a new world began on that date. In a sense, the planet has been going through this update and it sort of reached 100% on 12/21/2012, right? Us and the planet. And so essentially, the old world died and a new world was rebirthed on that day. And we're sort of living in this almost illusionary echo of that old world. Let's call it the fourth world because these calendar creators kind of called it this world the fifth world, right? So the fifth world was born that day, and we're kind of in this illusion of the old world, right? It's trying to sustain itself, resist change, and that type of thing for, getting caught in the matrix in a sense, in that astral realm. And we basically, are living in this illusionary echo, right? Attached to those old paradigms, ideologies, vibrations, and connections of that old world. Okay. But it's coming, resistance is futile in a sense. We can kind of are tuning into this, fifth world in a sense. Okay. And looking at this date, I just noticed with these other sort of key dates and events, it's always around, sometimes it's around 10 or 11, and I kind of associated with that with puberty. So just to look at that more, right? Because here it shows, the average age of puberty, right? It really takes off around 11 years old, right? But there's still a sort of starts sort of this distinct uptick starts around 10 years old, right? So if you say about 10 years and 3 months from that, right? So 10.3, that's about 10 years and 3 months, right? And that sort of coincides with this March 21st, 2023 date, right? And that is, that date that a lot of people have been saying is going to be significant, that Pluto in Aquarius, March 23rd, 2023 date. Okay, so I find that very sort of interesting, right? Because it wouldn't be surprising if we sort of reflect the earth, right? And it reflects us, right? The average age of puberty is about 11 years old. And, we're literally Gaians, right? We're made of the same material. So it probably would make sense if our sort of origin, our counterpart in a sense, would reach this sort of planetary puberty at around the same age. Okay. And then that's what I feel like is what these cultures were talking about and knew about, right? So, like, what happens at puberty? It's like this rapid change, this rapid transformation, right? We're always growing, we're always changing, but sometimes there's those moments of like that fast clip, rapid change. Okay. I believe that's what's about to happen because we're about to experience a planetary puberty of sorts. Okay. Right. If you have had a child that you saw go through puberty, they just, transform in this very relatively fast time. And that's what's going to happen um, on the planet. That's why we're seeing these different earthquakes and volcanic eruptions because the planet is about to reach puberty. It's about to go through that sort of transformation um, as well. Okay. So if you're using this as sort of a proxy, right, I feel like these sort of, intense changes are going to last for at least, um, like, right, it sort of tapers off for until about 16. So very intense changes, right? From, right, we're going to see this uptick soon, right? And then around 11 years, right? 2024, which is that others around that other eclipse date, right? April 8th, 2024, where it's really going to pick up and it will last for, about 16 years, right? Um, about till 2028.